All right. So I would say that we see something very similar happening around the globe, including Germany. So what happened in the United States really opened up space to have these conversations about racism, and particularly structural racism also in the German context. But I would add that there's always been communities who have been interested and who've spoken up about racisms, and those are the communities that have always experienced racism in the German context. I do think that what I think is new, looking from outside now into Germany as somebody who's not there at the moment, is that I think I have some hope, because we're starting to think forms of racism that people experience in the German context finally together. So we have conversations that tackle anti-racism, conversations that might be focused on anti-Muslim racism, anti-Blackness, racism against Sinti and Roma in the German context, and coming together and addressing these forms of racism in ways that allows us to organize collectively. So I think for me, these conversations have always existed in Germany, but they haven't necessarily existed in the mainstream. So something that stands out if you watch media in Germany post Black Lives Matter is that Germans will finally invite somebody to have a conversation about racism who might be a person of color, who might be an Afro-German person. And they start asking, is Germany racist, or do we have racism? And I think that indicates a kind of a mindset in the German context that we think we need to be convinced that it's real, or if it is real, it's somewhere in the fringes. And what communities of color have done in Germany is actually to push and highlight that this isn't a new phenomenon, this is a continuity. There's different communities that experience racism differently. And we finally need to have this conversation at a more broader societal level. So my answer would be, I think Germans are interested in questions of racism. It's just not necessarily the mainstream dominant society, but communities have always been interested and have always worked against racism. But I think this is a moment where it's now coming to surface in a different way.